Hey, Lance here, the Vintage Speaker Audiophile. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about using a preamp in front of your subwoofers. I like to run a preamp in front of mine because it gives me a general volume control where I can adjust all of the subs at once rather than having to go behind each sub in the corner of the room and tweak with the volume. This is nice because I can have it adjusted up a little bit, say for movies, which I do, or retarded just a little bit for music. Even sometimes I bump it up a little bit for the bass boosted music I like to listen to. So it provides a very, very convenient mechanism for doing that. And I urge everybody to take a look at this as an option. Now there's a couple kinds of controls you can buy. One is a preamp, a literal preamp with a volume control and nothing more. The other is you can get a volume attenuator, which is a big resistor basically in a circuit that allows you to turn your subs down to zero. But I recommend you go for the powered preamp approach because that way, if you want to, you can overdrive your subs a little bit. So I have mine set to where when it's off, it's off. But as I turn it up, I can get a little bit of sub. Here is I don't know if you can hear that, that's a 20 hertz to 40 hertz sweep. Let's bring it up a little more. There you can hear the walls starting to shake. So I have this ability to adjust it to match the music or match the movie or match whatever, and that's a nice feature. So the particular preamp that I chose here is this little Duke Audio stereo line level booster, it's called. They're only, $40. They're pretty cheap. Just the plain volume attenuator resistor is $20. So for me, spending the extra $20, being able to get a little gain out of the thing for my subs is well worth the price. As you can see, it's pretty small, pretty easy. Basically, what you do is you hook it in between your subs and your subwoofer output, wherever that may be. I know in some cases you're going to be using the sub out of the AVR that you're running, or in other cases, like my particular case here, my AV right and left out of my source goes to a multiplexer where I feed off multiple left and right signals, and I feed the left and right signal, the same signal that's going into the speakers, into the subs, so that I get stereo sub support. So I get, when the bass is on the left, I get left. When the bass is on the right, I get the right. So however you hook it in, it's just a matter of getting it in the middle there. And then you can set it outside somewhere convenient and use it to adjust. So let's give me an example of how I use it. Right now I'm watching Dune Part 2, and in the movie they draw sandworms to a location by putting a thumper into the ground, and every time it thumps it draws the worm. Well, so I walked up to my subwoofers and set it so that just a thump gave me a physical feel in the room. It vibrated the floors just enough so that I could feel it. And that was a good test for the rest of the movie because the subs balanced out pretty good for the rest of the movie after that. Note that I turned it up higher than I would have had for music, because with music, you don't want the bass to be really present with music. You want it to blend into the front speakers as frequencies go down lower. So even if you have a sub, you should get most of your bass typically on typical songs in the center. That's usually where the bass images to, is in the center. Even if you have a sub behind you, you should be hearing bass coming out of the center of the two speakers in front of you. Again, most of the time. Some tracks have the bass off center, some tracks have the bass off to a side, but typically, your typical musical track will have the bass track image to the center of the room. So I just wanted to make a short video on this just because I found it just incredibly enjoyable to have a preamp in front of my subs. I mean, I go to the work of installing the subs in good locations. I go to the work of tuning the subs so that they work with each other, adjusting the phase, adjusting the volume, working them so that they're working optimal in the room. And now I have the ability to tweak that up or tweak that down depending on content, all for a $40 preamp. So I urge you guys to take a look at it if you're into subs like I am. Again, Lance here, the Vintage Speaker Audiophile. Thanks for watching.